for our country, Nigeria. So this is beyond partisan politics. Nigeria is on drip. Nigeria is on oxygen. And how can we get out of this? And these are kind of people who say they are leaders of this country. What example I may show you I'm leaders of the country?
Let's keep you abreast with happenings in the polity.
I am an employee of the president. I pay the president's salary. I pay the bills of the family. And he must protect me.
All the resources available in this country has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward. The interest of Nigeria is part of it.
Standpoint,
the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian.
That's right.
Just as yesterday when we were dwelling on issues, I'm talking about the program Abia 360, where we said, look at, in Abia State, Mr. Governor, our dear Governor, if you found around you persons that you know they are trying to sabotage your dreams, talking about your manifestos, your blueprints for the good people of Abia State, it shouldn't take you time or blink of the eye for you to deal with them by removing them from that position and bring in people that will aid you to achieve your objective for the good people of Abia State. Of course, yesterday the governor, while he sworn in his newly appointed special advisors, heads and members of government agencies in the state, warned that they must avoid corrupt practices. The governor spoke yesterday in Umuahia, pointed out that his administration is 100% accountable to the people of the state and God. He charged the appointees to work round the clock and live above board by not stealing, taking or demanding bribes in the course of discharging their duties. I listened to him. He said that we are not bringing you in here to come and make wealth for yourself, rather to serve the interest of the people. We will not always hide our mouth, our views, whenever we know that things that ought to service the interest of the people are not done rightly. We must put it up the way it is. You're welcome to Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics. Today, Wednesday, being the 17th day of July 2024. If only they would comply with the governor's directive, it would go a long way. Incorruptible Sam, it's good to have you join the program. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Moses Ben. You know, it gives me joy actually to notice that see our effort as far as this industry is concerned is yielding fruit. And that's why I would tell my colleagues, our colleagues, use this platform to do your job the right way. Use this platform to lead because you're a leader. Use this platform to represent the people. And, well, this is not us trying to be proud now. But I must say...
It's not all about being proud.
I must say that we have done well. And the testifiers are also testifying. The callers. And you also did get feedback of our guests. And when they leave here, they also return to us to tell us, see, after so-and-so program, this is the feedback we got. That means we are doing the right thing. And it's a good one also that those working with the governor, they are listening. Because what we will do here is to say it the way it is. To say it the way it is, to help the government. I was speaking off the mic with a colleague from Spin FM the other day. I told her something that, see, years back, it used to be media ahead of any politician at all. We talk. When we talk, they listen. When we gather, they fear. That's what it used to be. Before gradually they started seeing how powerful we are and started going the other way. But we need to come back as media people. We need to hold them accountable. When I mean hold them accountable, every politician representing you, representing your brother, representing your maternal home, We must hold them accountable. Well, how are we going to hold them accountable? Not publishing false information about them.
Not going against them with naked power or what have you. No,
not abusing them. That's what we tell our callers also. When you call in, you can actually talk about this state without insulting the governor. I did it during the previous administration. He happens to be my brother. But when I see something that is not right, I say it. And I even use the dialect because he speaks Ngwa too. The former governor Kizibas.
Right. I
use the dialect. I happened to interview him in 2 occasions when I was in Aba. And I asked him, Dede, you understand? So that is what the job is all about. And when you think, maybe if someone thinks you're not doing the right thing because you're telling him the truth, the person is actually failing. Someone that appreciates the truth will appreciate you when you're doing the right thing. Don't just talk for talking, but talk because it is worth talking about. That's what we do here on Standpoint. We stand as we make our point genuinely. Abia must be better. And from what the governor has actually told the newly appointees,
advisors,
they should sit up. If they think the governor will not hear on time to do anything, we will hear on time. We will hear on time.
We will.
And we will talk about it, then the governor will hear. The governor, please, once again, pay attention.
No, it's important. The governor takes note of this. Pay attention. There are persons who go about sabotaging the governor's efforts. You see, somebody wants to behave as a demigod because you have been given a position as small as special advisor. Because special essay.
You now want to do anyhow.
You want to do anyhow in that office. At the end of the day, fingers will be pointed at the governor.
No. It's not done that way. If the governor, anyone that he should handle directly, we also say it here. We hit him. Anyone that he has handed over to you to do it well. If not, we will talk about it. And that's why it's somehow unfortunate that when the federal government, when the Supreme Court ruled that the local government should have an autonomy, my local government area,
that is
the video came out
South.
And people started dancing.
Ngwa South.
Yes,
North?
Sialangwa North.
Okay, North.
Celebrating that the man we believe in. That means one way or the other, he must have offended them. It shouldn't be that way. A leader should be missed. A leader should be called by his people to come lead, and not when they hear anything negative about you, they'll start dancing. It means a lot. But on Rapid, we say it and leave it open for everybody to enjoy. Good morning.
All right, those sworn in were Kenechi Nwosu as Special Advisor on Education, and Green Amakwe, Special Advisor on Promotion. Of course, those inaugurated were chairmen and members of the Abia State House of Assembly Service Commission. And that reminds me, the issue of Aaron Uzodike, that's Aba North State constituency.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying anything rather about it. And then it appears that there are persons who are now bigger than the laws of the land. Interesting. Abia State Commission for Welfare of Disabled Persons and Abia Civil Service Commission. That's of the disabled persons. They know this community, they've been talking about their commission. Disabled commission that it has not been in place. It's like the previous administration, they did something about it, but it's not been effective under this current administration. That they have a budget that is not being monitored, that is not running. Nothing is being done concerning their budget because they do not have the commission to actually carry out responsibilities within this community. So if they can also pay attention to this particular community, being essay to this community is not enough. And also when you are not doing the right thing in assuaging the plights of this community or the persons of this community, the efforts, the objective becomes defeated, as a matter of fact. So let us also look into this particular development. There have been palliatives, issues of trying to ensure that the hardship at the moment Nigerians are facing are being handled by the present administration at the federal level. Last year, we saw palliative to state government. This year again. But how effective, how efficient have these palliatives been? The one they gave last year, can somebody come up this morning to say, wow, I am still, or is still sustaining my family, still sustaining and handling issues within the current economic situation? This current one again, how would it end? We want to elaborate on this particular development as we discuss the palliative given by the federal government to state governors. But before then, gentlemen, we have another important issue we want to track. Let us talk about the Nigeria Labour Congress, Sam. A revelation fell out yesterday that what the federal government is planning, they are not saying it's substantial, but Joe Ajuro has said that, look at, they want to take the matter to the National Assembly for it to become a bill that they would deregularize minimum wage down to state level, that state governments would then determine how much could be paid to workers. It will no longer be within the framework of the federal government. This is a suspicion act here. Nobody is saying that it's substantial, but the NLC has come up to say, we are sensing this particular ability. Is it possible? Remember that in Nigeria, before you do anything, somebody must track you.
Yeah.
It will really be a big mess. It will give a different character to the entire process, efforts, commitment, dedication that they've injected in ensuring they arrive at the next national minimum wage in Nigeria.
It's so big and somehow also tiring that we are still on this. We are still discussing. One person called in the other day, was a guest, he mentioned it should be Seychelles here in Africa that pay very, very well. Their minimum wage is high. And the population of that country is not even up to a state in Nigeria. Lagos State might be bigger in numbers, and they are paying well. I want to also believe that what is giving them money is not bigger than what gives us money. We have oil, that's number one. We also, if not that, we have decided not to pay attention to agriculture. Agriculture is another area that would have given us more money. In fact, if we pay attention, it might be giving us more money than even agriculture. Why we have more than oil. If you have enough, you eat, you feel comfortable, you export. That will go a long way to make us bigger. But unfortunately, we have leaders, crop of leaders that think about themselves first. The way we mention money, the way we spend money individually, these politicians are comfortable. That's why even when they leave office, you still see them balling and enjoying themselves. This is not their salary, but this is the money that came through them. They decided to maybe give out peanuts, and pocketed the rest. If it gets down to the point of states should decide, I think it will not actually give us what we want. Then the federal government deciding, the federal government has more money also, we know. I think it will be a good one. That's why, for me, I would prefer the NLC agree something with the federal government. Let it be the same with all states. Yes, all the states don't earn the same allocation. We know. I think Gombe State, they happen to be one of the, lowest earners. We know Rivers, how much they earn. We know Bayelsa. We know Delta, because of the oil and other things they have in their state. We know Abia, how much we earn. Other people earn more than us. Ebonyi is also one of the least earners, as it has to do with our location.
But that has increased, Sam. As we speak, it has clearly increased since last year, since the removal of fuel subsidy.
Exactly.
This morning, as we speak, talking about June FAC, we are looking at over 1.4 trillion naira. The highest yes. So far.
You understand?
We had times in this country that FAC, we had like 200 and something billion naira. But today we are talking about over 1.4 trillion naira.
That's huge. That's increment in the amount we have. Yes, in as much as value has also messed the whole thing up. But I think having that agreement at the federal level, then making it, for me, if possible, a bill that all the states will pay the same amount. That's why when we talk about the 200 and something, the NLC, they are not saying it must end there. But also, they are somehow trying as much as possible for the federal government to come down to something that is meaningful, or go up with something that is meaningful, and not 60-something thousand naira. 100, 120, 130, 150, I think, will not be a bad one. And any state government that said that they cannot pay that amount of money will be lying. Now, if you think the money will be too much, you look at the ghost worker stuff. Clear people there. We have all the states. No state will come out to say that they don't have.
That they are saints.
No.
That you don't have somebody who is collecting salary without working.
Clean these people. make sure that the people on the payroll are these ones working, not the ones that will go there, sign their name and go. If you're not very, very useful to the government, if you're not working, you shouldn't be earning. And if all workers in all states are the ones that we know, the ones we have captured, there's no way you tell me that the minimum wage, the 100 and something thousand naira, that you can't pay it. The states have money. If you think the thing coming from federal government, federal level allocation is not enough, that is why you have internally generated revenue. What are you doing in your state? The states, the indigenous, they pay tax. The keke, the marketplace, which of these states we say that they don't have market?
All right, Sam, let's just hope that it will not get to that level.
I don't want it to be states to decide. If not, the governors will capitalize
deal
on
with
that.
Workers. Anyway, we are being joined this morning on Standpoint to look at the current development in the country by Chief Okeziala, Public Policy Consultant and State Publicity Secretary of Abia APC. Ebube Mba Uzuakoli. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you join us on Standpoint.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Rapid FM. Good morning, Abia.
All right. I can remember last year as well. I know, of course, you are very familiar with this particular one. Last year, the presidency made available palliatives to states in Nigeria. We talked about 5 billion naira and also grains, maize, and all of that. This week, the presidency has come up to say that we are sending across 20 trucks of rice to governors in the state. Is this the right way to go? What do you make of these measures at this point in time?
Well, just like I said, you see, there is a beginning to every policy, and then there is impact assessment at the mid of every policy, even before the long-term effect. Now, the policy in this case of study is the subsidy removal, and then the impact assessment is the introduction of some other temporary and short-term measures to ensure that it cushions the effect of the outcome of the subsidy removal on the economy. Now, the question we should ask ourselves is, what is the distribution pattern? How equitable are those palliative measures being distributed in our societies with regards to the attitude of the governors? This is comes to limelight. And the last distributions made since last year, Abians, I am sure those listening to us know very well that little did they even hear about the so-called palliatives to the states. And that is why I personally would have made a memo to the presidency condemning that route of giving it directly to the governor. But again, I didn't do that because on a second thought, I said, if a chief executive or chief security officer of a state cannot be trusted with the palliatives meant for the people in his state, but then tell me, where is the place of trust in our democracy? But it is very unfortunate that no matter the number of trailers of rice foods, staple foods that you introduce in the system to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal, honestly, you may not likely to even find one family who have benefited from it. I don't know if Abia State government is putting all those things together somewhere to be distributed at their own time. I do not know if it is intended to be used as a political, to share during political campaigns in the next general election 2027. I do not know what is holding these palliatives. I can't understand why these things have been given to the state and the people for whom it is sent have not seen it. I'm yet to see someone from the government of Dr. Lesoti come out to explain to Abians what is happening to those palliatives pushed into the market.
All right, sir, we are still dwelling on the efforts by the federal government to ensure that the current economic hardship Nigerians are going through is being handled properly. You've talked about palliatives and short-term measures according to what is happening, giving out those things to Nigerians. But I asked again, is it the right thing to do, given the fact, the current situation, go to our markets today, cost of commodities is something you cannot beat down. Is it not taking away attention from what ought to have been handled? While we are talking about palliative and short-term measures, what's wrong with high cost of commodities? Is it that it cannot apply the measure also in this area to regulate what is happening so that Nigerians who do not access, let's say, the rice, the bags of rice at the end of the day, can also be taken care of in terms of getting commodities from the market?
Okay. Now, you see, in every economy, the basic determinant of the cost of commodities in the market is the market forces. Demand and supply plays a major role in it. You cannot talk about the market forces without the demand and supply curve. So the dynamics and the relationship between the demand and supply curve is what generally affects the final consumer. So in the case of Nigeria, it is not just enough to talk about the high cost of staple foods or goods in the market. We should also talk about the attitude of the market itself. What is the dynamics? The major dynamics within the Nigeria economy is the unwillingness and the unreadiness of Nigerians, the players within the Nigerian market, to even participate. We are running a consumption economy. We are not running a productive economy, a production economy. No. And our Nigerian does nothing about food security on his own. Now, hear this. No matter how much you pay someone as a salary, if there is nobody cultivating and producing food, I can tell you that food prices will always skyrocket.
And what's the efforts of this government also in that regard, sir?
Are you getting it?
Yes, we are.
Now, the efforts of the federal government can only be in terms of policy interventions. That's all. And if you check recently, the federal government has announced zero tariff on staple foods, on cereals, on agrochemical and products, things that will aid massive and commercialized agriculture in Nigeria. It is a common news everywhere. They didn't just do that, they also granted waivers for importations of food. What else will a responsible federal government do other than bringing out policies that will serve as a cushion to the effect of this economic quagmire we find ourselves? But what are people doing at the grassroots? When I talk about grassroots, the governors. Now, let me say this again. You cannot take away the roles of the governors when it comes to the economic well-being of a state, of a nation. You cannot take away their roles. You can't discount their own the roles they play. They play a major role in whatever that happens to an average Nigerian. Now, listen, the Nigerian Federation, consists of states, component states. You cannot talk about Nigeria without the component states. Okay? So if there is hardship in Benue, the government in Benue plays 70% role into that hardship. If there is hardship in Lagos, the same thing. Now, that explains why the way you suffer in Abia State may not be the same with somebody in another state. Are you aware there are states you can go to a restaurant and eat a plate of food and meat with water, 500 naira? I can mention those places. In Zaria, in Madala, Niger State, in Suleja. I just came down from Abuja. Abuja, the Federal Habitat Territory. You can walk all these, people that hawk food still sell food 300, 400. You can't say that about Abia State, my brother. No, I'm just, we have to be clear about these things. Okay? So the way, the level of agricultural production and the interest of the citizens in one state vary with the others. And that is how it is proportionate in terms of hunger and complaint. So while the federal government is dishing out these lofty policies to aid the standard of living in the country, my brother, we should hold the component states responsible. The governors the governments at the state and local government councils should be seen as complementing the efforts of the federal government and not thwarting it, and not using the people at the grassroots against the federal government all the time. Whereas the large chunk of the national cake, monies due to the developments of the grassroots and the hinterlands, are being channeled straight to governors. If you do not have a pipe-borne water in your state, hold your governor accountable, not the president. If you do not have road infrastructure across the states, hold the governor accountable. If there are no agro policies that will aid massive production, that will ensure food security, hold the governors accountable, just like you have confirmed. The governors receive palliatives. The governor receives all what is needed to make sure that the life is at ease, even at the local governments. But what do they do with these things? They hold on to it as though it's their personal belonging or their personal right, and then ask you to look on to federal government, to channel your complaints to federal government, and make it look as though they have no part to play in all that. And make it look as though, okay, because the dollar, the exchange, the forex market is not favorable, that is what is affecting their governance. No. Are you aware that there could be hardship in Ogun State and then you will ameliorate it in Abia State? It is possible for people to be suffering in another state and another state will be living better. I have cited examples for you. Now hear this. Why do you take public transport, say from Lagos to Zamfara? You pay 5,000 naira. You pay 8,000. You pay 9,000. The same economy, the same fuel, the same driver, the same companies. Then you take the same taxi, public transport from Lagos to Abia State, which if you look at it deeply, you will see that is even a shorter distance coming to Abia. And Abia man will be paying 25,000. The Abia route will be collecting 30,000 naira. But the route from Lagos to Zamfara, which is a longer distance, will be collecting 12 or 15,000 naira. I can keep giving you examples of how we reap ourselves off.
All right, sir.
In this country.
All right, sir.
So my answer to that is that while the federal government is doing what they can to cushion the effects of the hardship, the governors themselves should not sabotage the efforts of the federal government.
All right, so saying that why the federal government is doing what it can to kind of assuage the hardship at the moment. If you look at the indices and statistics, you would agree with the figures or with the records that since the current administration at the national level came into power, we have a lot of palliative programs, the ones that have been announced and even the ones that they've not announced. We talk about 25,000 naira to 500 households and all of those things. We have them in records. Nigerians have argued also that there is no sincerity in terms of pulling off these palliative measures to assuage the current situation in the country. That the promise of bringing back a refinery, ensuring that it comes into operation. Remember, just a few days ago, Melikari is now telling us that it will no longer be operational in the month of June, rather July, rather August. So do you think that there is sincerity, in ensuring to address the current situations Nigeria is going through under this administration?
You see, let's be clear.
All right.
About things. There is no leader, there is no governor, no president that will intentionally adopt policies that will defame his government, his administration. Nobody will do that. Okay, so whenever you see a policy somersault, either by analysis or in real context, then you should know that there must have been saboteurs within the system. There must be somewhere in the system where some persons are sabotaging those efforts. Okay, talking about distribution of the palliatives and whatever that is provided to cushion the effects of the hardship. These things are being manned by human beings, not robots. And these human beings are part of the society we live in. So until we have attitudinal change, until we realize in our social values that we cannot have leaders different from the kind of followership we have, things will not go well. This thing is a bit related to what we have said in the prelim, that people must learn to serve their country with spirit of service and patriotism. All those officers, the offices, and the people involved in this policy implementation, how sincere have they been? Are you aware that even a policeman or any security agent you send to protect lives and property ends up extorting the people that he sent to protect? If he doesn't man roadblock and start collecting money from people, have you tried to pass through Umuahia to Enugu? You understand what I'm talking about? So I'm just giving an instance of how people sabotage the system because they know that everybody will be channeling their complaint where the boss stops, and to the person at the highest position of authority. So we as individuals, as citizens, should be patriotic enough. Where is the spirit of statesmanship? If all these policies, as lofty, as fine and beautiful as they are being implemented in the spirit of patriotism, I don't think we will be complaining. In fact, this effect of subsidy removal and the attendant hardship on Nigerians would have by now been ameliorated. It would have been a thing of the past because it's over 1 year that policy was introduced, which all of us, you and I, the civil society, the media, everybody agrees that is the best thing that could have happened to the oil and gas sector. Apart from deregulation, which was done by the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, removal of subsidy is the next. And we have clamored for it for a long time. So it was even long overdue. But again, the middlemen, the people who benefit, who feed fat from that criminal enterprise, they will always do everything to give it a bad name.
All right.
And we are not surprised.
We are due for a break at this point. This is Standpoint, center of all talks of politics. We are keeping our tabs on the current development in that great country, Nigeria. When we return, there are other issues we want to get clarity from you. Please do well to stay with us.
Arrive alive. Respect traffic rules. Do not drink and drive. Do not drive and drink. Every life on the road is precious. Drive safely. Be attentive and ensure your journey doesn't become a tragedy.
Stop wa on our roads. Nwanne m onye abịa mata na ndụ gị dị ndị abịa mkpa. Kwụsị wa n'okporo ụzọ anyị. Drive safely.
This message is powered by Abia State Orientation Agency.
Ozia Sinaka Abia State Orientation Agency na-abịara unu.
Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is all around us. So, if you want to look good always, visit Masters and Wands Cosmetics stores. It's new, it's exclusive, and a happening store in beauty products. We deal on perfumes and cosmetics such as body lotions, facial creams and scrubs, body sprays, powders, bath wash, and all kinds of quality cosmetics with affordable prices. Contact us at number 41 Fimbers Road, Umuahia, or number 28 School Road, Umuahia, all in Abia State. Call us on 0806 951 2773 or email us at wandsglean@gmail.com. Masters and Wands Cosmetics Stores. Quality is our name. Signed, Management.
It is that time of the year again when we celebrate the achievements and milestones of our amazing learners. Meridian Heights International School proudly celebrates her graduating class of 2024. The venue is the Zix Event Center, opposite MTN Head Office, Aba Road, Umuahia. Date, Friday, the 19th of July, 2024. Time, 11 a.m. prompt. Congratulations, Trailblazers 2024. Meridian Heights, the future is here.
Rapid 96.5 FM.
The sound of your city.
Let's talk politics, dynamics, and permutations.
It's a concern that we have for our country, Nigeria. So this is beyond partisan politics. Nigeria is on drip. Nigeria is on oxygen. And how can we get out of this? And these are kind of people who say they are leaders of this country. What example I may show you are leaders of the country?
Let's keep you abreast with happenings in the polity.
I am an employer of the president. I pay the president's salary. I pay the bills of his family. And he must protect me.
All the resources available in this country has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward. The interest of Nigeria is part of it.
Standpoint.
Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. That's right.
Yeah, welcome back to Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics. This morning we are live on Facebook at Rapid Umahia and also YouTube at Rapid 96.5 FM. We still have our guest who has been discussing, of course, palliatives by the current administration at the national level. Of course, he is the Publicity Secretary of APC Abia State, Chief Oke Ezeala. You're welcome back to the program, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, Chief Oke, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Incorruptible Sam is my name.
And incorruptible Ndewo.
My brother.
You laughed. You don't align with that philosophy, sir.
All right, still on what we have actually been, discussing on. Yeah, kudos to the president, which for some of the things you have said, is actually something that if the state governors has, paid attention to by now, we would have, gotten something better. And it's not a new thing. I also do have that, belief that for me, our biggest problem in Nigeria is actually from the state governors. I've been saying that it didn't start this time. It didn't start under Tinubu's administration. It's just one thing I know. But on this issue now, as it has to do with the federal level, the first subsidy removal is if we open the phone lines right now, many callers will also, stand on that. It's just a question I want to ask you. Has the president done the best thing? We know, well, giving sharing palliative might be good, but when it comes to better, we know also. But the best amongst these options, do you think he has done the best thing by sharing money? Palliative, he has shared money. We also hear that some households also might end up getting money that we don't know how they would end up doing that. The increment of allocation to the state government. Do you think this process is actually remains the best option just to make sure that the hunger in the land will become a thing of the past?
Well, first, in my pattern of analysis, I prefer carrying the larger audience along. So sometimes that may even take me into going to a local balance just for people to get what we are saying, because the essence of the whole thing is to communicate to people.
Yes.
Now, what is subsidy removal in the first place? Subsidy removal is, of course, you can't define it without telling people what subsidy is. Subsidy is the money federal government, the money that federal government was supposed to use and work for the people, infrastructure, agriculture, education, the money meant for the people. Government over time have been using those money to pay oil marketers so that they will bring in fuel at a lower cost to us. My brother, it was not necessary from beginning. We don't need it. But people never knew that was the reason a lot of roads, infrastructure, things were not being done in this country. Through a PDP government that they were saying nothing was done, Enugu Onitsha Express, Abato Port Harcourt, everywhere, Aloji between here, everybody knows is impossible. Throughout that time. It is not because PDP government was that evil, no. It is because they lacked the courage to do the right thing. They were busy paying oil marketers. That is what subsidy is. Now the government said, we will remove it. Those money we are giving marketers. Marketers are not even up to 2% of Nigeria's population, but they are becoming billionaires overnight. It made even Dangote rich. I can keep mentioning names. The government of APC said, no, enough of that. They have eaten enough. Let us stop subsidizing. Oga, go and import fuel. Oga, go and refine. Do whatever you want to do. Bring the fuel. Nigerians will buy it at the real price. If it is 500, 600, Nigerians will buy it. But you see these trillions we are giving you people, we won't give you again. Nigeria, stop giving those monies. That is the meaning of removal of subsidy. I know you know, but I'm doing this for the benefit of those who don't even know what we are talking about when we mention subsidy all this while.
Exactly.
Now, government, hold on. Government now took those monies. Unlike PDP government and other governments in the past who receive Abacha loot and nobody will hear about it.
The same Abacha loot, sir, was recovered by the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
I'm coming. That's why I say unlike the other people who recovered it and we didn't see where the money will go in. The government of President Tinubu and the government of Buhari, if they recover, they channel those money to increment of state allocations because they believe this money needs to go to the people at the state. That is why Abia is receiving more than double of what it has been receiving under PDP. Now, currently, Tinubu government is doubling all the state allocation to the governors. Now, as if that is not enough, when they double the allocations to the state governors to be able to provide good life for their state, it is not still enough. The money was still remaining because the money was too big, the subsidy they removed. So the remaining of the money, they now say, instead of us to be telling Nigerian story, instead of waiting for the governors, let's also push food. That brings us to the importation of rice, beans, cereals, and all these truckloads of food they also push in the state. My brother, federal government go kill themselves for us. Is that not laudable enough? You have doubled, tripled allocations of states to better the lives of their people. The money was still remaining. You now say, okay, that's not enough. While we don't trust some of these governors, let us also push money to them. What other immediate and temporary intervention can be better than that? Now they are pushing food. The money was still remaining. They said, okay, when we are giving enough money, a load of food to the state, let us also bring on board the grant loans and more targeted at small businesses across the state and be giving them money. So to cushion the effect of these things, in case the governors who hijack the money and also hijack this truckload we are giving, the third option was disbursement of funds. My brother, I don't know about any other source. From Dr. Oji Uzo Carlo Senatorial District alone, I have personally supervised distribution of 50,000 to more than 2,000 families. I am saying it on air. Beneficiaries, the last time I spoke, of course, they confirmed it. I'm sure a lot of beneficiaries are also listening now. I'm talking about the one I supervised. And we have supervisors like me, more than 20, under Senator Joseph Carlo, doing this same thing. I don't want to talk about other senators because every other senator had these slots. I don't know what they are doing in their senatorial zones. I don't know how it is left for them. I won't talk about them. But in Abia, we know that the only person who is doing this in his constituents is Senator Carlo. Go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to everywhere. That is what we talk about when we emphasize on transparency. If the governors are transparent, like the senator I just mentioned, if other people, other House of Reps members, everybody plays their role well, my brother, nobody will be talking about hardship the way we are. It's very excruciating.
All right, Chief.
At the moment.
All right, Chief.
Because the middlemen and people who are supposed to do the right thing, they have refused. They are taking the people for a ride. Now, government is doing, you can see I've mentioned 3 ways.
Yes, Chief. Also, Nigerians have been arguing these measures, policies, could the government also channel it in the area of a price regulation, talking about commodities, so that Nigerians also will kind of have a relief in that regard. But let's bring in our listener at this point. Why the program progresses this morning. 091 60,000 965 or 091 60 333 965. What's your reaction, your opinion on this current development at this point in time? Remember, we are live on Facebook. That's Rapid Uma here. Also, YouTube, Rapid 96.5 FM. It's good to have you join the program. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Moses Ben.
You're welcome, sir.
This is Aripo calling all the way from World Bank Estate.
Aripo, we're welcome.
The man in the studio, I don't know when you say federal government
Aripo, please, could you adjust from where you are standing? We are having this interruption.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We are still struggling to get you, please.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right, just go ahead.
Okay. So when you say federal government has paid, they are paying money to state governors, how many workers do we have in Nigerian civil servants? Because if they are paying the money to state governors, we are talking about paying the money to civil servants.
Okay, Aripo, we are sincerely sorry. Just do well to redial the number because we could not hear you clearly. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chijok is my name. Honorable, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
What I want to say is that issue of federal government and some state government about the money they are talking about. For me personally, what I am yet to understand is the vision of Mr. President towards Nigeria at large. Because when you talk about giving money, maybe as palliative or as whatever, you now ask yourself, do you know the major problem of Nigeria when you are doing this, when you are talking about this? We have been seeing hearing about a lot of palliative in past administration, in various past governments. And we are saying that this is not the major thing Nigeria wants. And if you said very well, you heard the governor of Abia State, Governor Alex Oti. He mentioned it. He said that it's for his own vision.
All right, Chijioke, be rounding off your thoughts, please.
So I am rounding up by saying that palliative is not the major problem of Nigerians. And the problem of Nigeria, if I may say, is this. The refineries we have in Nigeria are not working.
All right, thank you so much.
Economy,
you've made your point and you've used your time.
Mr. President should do something on our economy.
All right, thank you.
And our refineries.
We appreciate your contribution. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
My name is Abang Otikiz. I'm calling from Abang State.
All right.
I want to say my own issue of our economy in Nigeria. I love what Tinubu do because there is many people who use that thing and progress. We have refinery in Nigeria in Port Harcourt. We have refinery in Kaduna. All these refinery rules because of our oil traveling to abroad. Those who eating with it, they don't think about to do our refinery here in Nigeria. That is why we are suffering. Look at our brother in Beto. They see their license everywhere in Nigeria on fire because of all these things. Our license in the question me here. I have license.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. 0916000-965 or 09160-333-965. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome, sir.
I want to thank Okezala. My enemy's enemy is my friend. I want to thank Okezala for you see when I talk about what happens in Abia, and most times all these labor people are blaming Mr. President. Have they reflected whatever thing that Mr. President is doing in Abia State today? Look at how much that is coming. Allocation has drastically increased. More than 10% of what previous administration received. When we talk about it, you look at the same and tell you, when you were there, they decided this 24. We are not talking about the past administration. They have done their part and gone. So if they didn't do well and people have voted them out, you told us about changing the state. Unfortunately, look at the impunity that is happening under their words, and nobody's talking. How much you promise to pay workers. Up to lecturers. I told you the other time, go and verify. They are still crying for 3 months today. You ask them the day that is from their bank. We are not talking about 11 months being owed by past administration. I mean 3 months. April, May, June. July is going to make it 4 months. So all we are saying is, when you are there outside, you'll be telling us this and this happened. Unfortunately, there is hunger in the land.
All right, Useman Node.
It's possible. It was not that they're giving you loans. You told me that they are this thing. And moreover, you are still sacking, and still telling us that.
All right, thank you, Useman Node. Your points have been made. Thank you. We appreciate your contribution. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Hello, good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
My name is Chineye. I'm calling from Umuahia.
Chineye, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, Honorable.
Yeah,
I don't see the reason why people will be guilty and they will just be dancing on their guiltiness. What we are talking is about Nigeria economy. How will this thing be solved? The major problem is that we are facing in Nigeria is about our economy. And what is the refinery? How is this going to be solved? Because if our refineries are being put in work, you see, all these kind of inflations will not be rising up every day, whereby somebody will go to market, he cannot even purchase a reasonable thing for the family. The problem is that we should be guilty of ourselves before talking. We should know what to talk. In Abia State, you can see what is happening. We have a listening governor, whereby the workers will not cry. The governor will not listen to them. Unlike the past administration for 24 years, whereby if the workers cry, remember, I normally used to make use of workers and pensioners, because one day, like the past administration, whereby the pensioners will wear black and these people talking on air, they were there. When their paymasters are doing this nonsense, they refuse to tell them why coming on air, why they are guilty. I don't see they don't have any moral justification to come on air and be disturbing the masses. They should rethink, because
all right,
what makes them to be saying all this is because they didn't have second address.
All right,
If they have second address, they will not be making all sorts of comments against our workaholic governor, which is working for us. For us, we are happy with our governor.
Chineye, thank you. And that was your opinion. You are responsible for your opinion. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning.
Welcome.
My name is Nelson. I'm calling from Umuahia.
Nelson, it's good to have you join the program.
Yes. Good morning to your guests.
Yeah, good morning, Nelson.
Yeah, as much as we would want to blame the governors for some of the things happening, we must not lose sight of the fact that the current situation we're having right now was actually caused by the federal government. We are talking about hyperinflation. We know why we're having it. Fuel subsidy was not removed by the governors, even though it is theoretically a good thing. But was the government actually prepared for the effect of removing the subsidy to start with? Now, your guests talked about palliative and all that, but I remember there was a time where rice was sent to the state. I think it was 25 kg bags. This thing was shared. I know for a fact because my wife, who works in local government, got a bag of it. So I think it's quite necessary that we have our facts before we start pushing it out there. This is a public forum, and people are listening. Pushing out the fallacy will not help anyone. I'm trying to blame the government, the state government, and being so quick to defend the federal government that's actually the policy makers doesn't speak well of your guests there.
All right, Nelson.
Now, we were told that the refineries will start working by December last year. It didn't. It was pushed to January. It didn't work. June came. It didn't work. Now we are hearing about August. What has your guest got to say about that?
All right, Nelson. Thank you so much for using your time. All right, Chief, we have less than 1 minute to round off the program. Let's have your parting reaction with regard to, regard to what our listener has said this morning.
Yes. First, I think among all the callers, I think the last person is the only one with a dissenting voice. Now, others agree with what we have been saying. Now, to the last caller, you see, refinery is not the fulcrum of your economic growth. Refinery is just a facility within a of the economy, and that is the oil and gas. There are a lot of countries in the world without oil. Those countries are existing. A lot of countries in Israel does not have oil and gas. So many countries I will mention here. And they are world powers. So I won't say it is lack of understanding of the situation that makes people come on air to say because refinery is not working and that is why your governor cannot provide adequate healthcare facility for you because refinery is not working, that is why food prices. No!
All right,
then why
Chief.
are people without oil supply their country? So what I'm saying is this, that they are not working, not the reason for the maladministration in other states in 1991 till now.
All right, Chief.
Okay.
Let's leave the conversation at this point. On our Facebook page, we have Elvis Uheze. You are saying, watching and texting live from the city of Umahi, Abia State Capital. Good morning, Moses, Ben, and Sam. Kudos to the president for sharing palliatives to the entire state, but cutting down on cost of governance will go a long way in ameliorating the sufferings, hunger, and poverty in the country. May God come to our rescue. Rapid FM. I want to say a very big thank you to you this morning for being our guest, Chief Oke Eziala, of course, the Ebubemba Uzuakole, Publicity Secretary, Abia State APC, and also Public Policy Consultant. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, Incorruptible Sam.
Yeah. All right, we are leaving. That's what you wanted to say. It's always nice when we gather to do this. And, you know, like we always say, the government is listening. They are listening. And one of them right now happens to be Honorable Mem Matthias, a member representing Umunochi State Constituency. He has actually been following this program. Honorable, thank you. You're a friend to us. We are the only honorable who call on anytime, any day, and we answer us.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much. Keep listening and definitely keep representing Umunochi very well.
All right.
We greet you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Moses Ben. Good morning.
The MD of Zoza Industries International,